Hello and welcome back to the lounge. Today is Thursday, May 10th, and today's segment is Throwback Thursday. Obviously, last week we had a couple articles that were, really important. This week is not as exciting, unfortunately, but we do have some interesting things I think you guys might want to know about. Today we're smoking the El Viejo Continente by Danny Guerrero. It's the one I have is a Lancero. It's a Maduro. I think it's a really good cigar. It's called El Viejo Continente, which translates to the old continent. So I thought it was a kind of a fun little thing to have on Throwback Thursday. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a straight cut. Now, this isn't really a cigar review. I'm more doing this just to smoke something while I'm talking to you guys. But I will kind of review it as we go on in the segment. Sight, it looks like dark cocoa, dark chocolate. Smells like tea, like black tea. I don't know. Overall, it's a good cigar. I mean, I've smoked it before. Obviously, it's a good cigar. I like it a lot. And I'm a light smoker. I don't really like light cigars, but it's a good cigar. I like it a lot. Taste bold, like I'll let it heat up a little before I start talking about the taste. So today, or this week rather, the first one we have lined up is the Transcontinental Railroad is completed in 1869. Obviously, I mean, again, these stories are brought in from history.com. They have a little thing where you could go and see everything that happened this week. So that's how I found everything. You just go to history.com /this day in history, and it shows you everything that happened today in history, and then you could go forward and back in time to see what happened yesterday in history or tomorrow in history. So actually, today in history is the Transcontinental Railroad is completed. And you might be asking yourself, well, why was this so important? But in this day in 1869, the presidents of the Union Pacific and Central Pacific Railroads meet in Utah and drive a ceremonial last spike into the rail line that connected their railroads. This made transcontinental railroad travel possible for the first time in U.S. history. No longer would western-bound travelers need to take the long and dangerous journey by wagon train, and the West would surely lose some of its wild charm with the new connection to the civilized East. So, overall, I think it's just significant because it's the connection of two different places for the first time. It's like, imagine the first time you got onto the internet. It was so easy for you to send an idea from one place to another. Imagine how fast it is now, or was after this was completed, to get from the West Coast to the East Coast. Rather than taking a week, it could take maybe 3 days. I don't know how fast trains are, but they're way faster than a wagon being pulled by a horse with all your luggage and everything. I would imagine so. Problem with the Lanceros is they're such a tight roll. Sometimes you get a really tight one. So that was the first one, and it kind of reminds me through what we're going now with the whole spaceship, SpaceX, drone flying, self-driving cars. Like, what's that gonna be like? The first self-driving car, like fully self-driven car. What's that gonna be like, man? Like, our children and great-grandchildren are gonna read about that in their history books, and it's funny because we don't really think of ourselves as like history makers. Maybe some of you do, but to think that, man, something that I do now could be written by other people in history books, and they felt the need to include my name and my invention, or my creation, or my contribution to the world. It's pretty cool. So May 13th, which is 11, 12, 13, Saturday, Pope John Paul II is shot. So in 1981. So I wasn't around for either of these. Obviously, the first one was over in 1869, and so I don't think any of us were alive for that. I'd say a good number of you guys were alive for this one. I wasn't, so I don't even know what they're talking about. But apparently, Pope John Paul II is shot and wounded at St. Peter's Square in Rome, Italy. Turkish terrorist Mehmet Ali Agca, an escaped fugitive already convicted of a previous murder, fired several shots at the... Father, I'm inside the shop filming an episode. Would you like to contribute to it?
Of course.
Okay, come on. You're live right now. What would you like to say?
Well, right now I'm smoking a cigar. It's early in the morning. And it's my favorite cigar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say it because then it's going to sound kind of Mickey Mouse.
Mm.
But I'm smoking a cigar right now.
Okay.
What else you want me to say?
Always being interrupted, never let alone. Regardless, it's like, you could check the cameras because clearly he did, and then he comes and he looks and it's like, oh, he's filming an episode. Let's disregard that completely and call him anyway. So annoying, so frustrating. So Pope John Paul II is shot in Peter's Square, and so the terrorist, an escaped fugitive who was already convicted of a previous murder, fired several shots at the religious leader, two of which wounded nearby tourist. Agca was immediately captured. I think that's pretty weird, man. I mean, I didn't even know about this. To be quite honest, no one had ever told me about this. I didn't learn about this in the school books, so I don't even know what comment to give about that, because it's just it's evil. Imagine the leader of the Christian world, or the Catholic world at least, the Pope, was shot by someone, and it's humans have no respect these days. Humans have no respect, period. Humans are going to do whatever they want, and it's pretty disgusting. I know I'm human too, and you're human too. I mean, I've come to terms with the fact that we are disgusting species and that we only care about ourselves. So that's why when something like this happens, nowadays it doesn't even surprise me. Maybe 5 years ago I would have been like, oh my god. Nowadays I'm like, yep, that's humans for you. Not to get controversial or anything, but the shooting that was over in Parkland, that happened, and I was like, yep. Yeah, obviously I wouldn't want that to happen, but it happened, and the humans did that, and it's we didn't care about those lives. Not we, but that guy didn't care about those lives. That's a human for you. And anything really that happens, the parking lot shooting is just one of them, but the guy that cut you off in the road, he doesn't care. He was late to hit work. Guess what, buddy? Everyone's late. It's Miami, so it's some people just have no respect for other human beings. It's pretty sad, it just gets me ranting about this. Humans naturally, Thomas Hobbes said it best, life without the social contract, which is his theory on why we can't do certain things. I didn't say, hey Siri. Everyone feels like interrupting me today. He said, life in nature is solitary, nasty, poor, brutish, and short. So I think it's something. So nasty, poor, solitary, brutish, and short. So just get it out of the way. So civilization is needed. We humans, we need to do a better job of caring for each other. And so the last one actually happened on Sunday. So 3 days from now. I know that's next week, but to be quite honest with you, there was not a lot of interesting stuff that happened this week, and I kind of struggled just getting those two together for this episode. It's I didn't want to leave you guys with only 2 stories. Maybe you guys only wanted 2 stories, but I was it's not long enough. So today or Sunday actually in 1998. So I was alive for this one. I don't remember it though. I was only like 2 years old. No, I wasn't even 2. I was 1, 2. Yeah, I was 1.5 when this happened. On this day, which is Sunday. So on Sunday in 1998, the legendary singer, actor, and show business icon Frank Sinatra dies of a heart attack in Los Angeles at the age of 82. Now, you might remember Frank or Sinatra from, his songs. If you don't know who he is, I highly recommend you look him up. He's a beautiful singer. I think he was like a movie star at one point. He was just a popular music and entertainer. And Sinatra emerged from an Italian-American family in Hoboken, New Jersey, to become the first modern superstar of popular music with an entertainment career that spanned more than 5 decades. Wowzer, 5 decades. That's a long time to be relevant. Maybe not, especially. Wow, yeah, that's a long time to be relevant. In the first incarnation of his singing career, he was a master of the romantic ballades. I don't even know how to say that word. Popular during World War II. After his appeal began to wane in the late 1940s, Sinatra reinvented himself as a suave swinger with a rougher, world-weary singing style and began a spectacular comeback in the 1950s. This man was... he was 82 when he died, so he was around for a while. He was alive during the Great Depression, if my math is right. During World War II, wow. So he went through a lot. Frank Sinatra, beautiful singer. You probably know the song "New York, New York." I'm not going to attempt to sing it. That's as much as you're going to get from me. But overall, I think he was pretty iconic. My grandpa still listens to him. My dad sometimes. One of my best friends actually listens to him all the time. So. Still a pretty relevant guy. I mean, I'm not going to say he was the most popular ever. I mean, I'm kind of biased because I was really a big fan of the Beatles growing up, and I probably still am. A lot of who I am, I wouldn't necessarily say it's because of them, but I attribute a lot of what I do and act and say and just my being in general. Like, I'd give a huge chunk over to them just because when I was growing up, I listened to them over and over again, every album. I used to be able to name you played like 10 seconds of a song, I used to be able to like name that song. So, I was a really big fan. I actually saw Paul McCartney here, I think in 2011, maybe 2008. 2011, I'm just going to say, between 2008 and 2011, I saw him live at Sun Life Stadium. That was phenomenal. I still have the t-shirt that I bought there. And it's funny because I used to wear that t-shirt literally like 6 times a week. Now I wear this every day. Oh, and for you guys watching, I want to make something clear. I shower, and you might be saying, there's some of you that are saying, what are you talking about? And the other half saying, okay, good, that answers my question, because I wear this same exact t-shirt. Well, not the same. Okay, let me explain. I have 8 of these t-shirts, as in literally a closet with 8 different shirts of these that are the same. Same brand, same color. And the reason I do this is because I like the ability to just go into my closet every morning. The hardest part for me now is trying to find pants, like 8 pairs of pants that match this as well. Because the problem I'm having is sometimes I'm wearing jeans, sometimes I wear my khakis, sometimes I wear, my what are they called? My joggers. So it's like, finding the pants is the hardest part right now. Like, when I get up in the morning, I go into my closet, and I'm like, okay, I know what shirt I'm going to wear, but what pants do I wear? And that is so annoying. So, yes, I shower. I just wear this a lot because I like the color scheme. Someone actually told me I looked like a military officer or something like that. I think that's cool. So, yeah, I like the convenience of being able to go in and just pick what I want to wear almost instantly, and I think I got that from one of my idols, Steve Jobs, just because he always wore that black turtleneck with the jeans and the black shoes or whatever. And so I when I was in school, I was always like, oh, I don't want to wear a uniform. Why do we have uniforms in school? And then now I get out of school and I'm allowed to wear whatever I want, and I revert back to wanting to wear uniforms. So I think that's a cool little fact about myself. If you enjoyed what we had to say and you want to hear more, of course, subscribe. If you're listening to this on the podcast, go ahead and like our station. I'm not sure what it's called on there. download our episodes. You can follow us at Gable Cigars on Instagram, and I guess we'll catch you tomorrow for Friday's favorites.